What is up? Welcome to Sequential Geek. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks a lot for checking me out. If you're new to comics, get off ShillTube. But thanks for giving me a try. Check it out. Box of comics. So what I'm going to start off with is continuing from a trade paperback, like summertime reading haul I did a while ago. I showed these two. It's probably like a year ago, I think. I showed these two. This is the first two trade paperbacks of the 4 trade paperback series. Planetary, rest in peace, John Cassaday. The artist, Warren Ellis, is the writer, and showed off the first 2 trades, which I read this past summer. So I finally got in the mail, I got 3 and 4, which is dope. So 3 I just finished reading, as a matter of fact, and I've read all these before, like 20 years ago. Or just under 20 years ago, because this series started around, I think it was April 1999 is the cover date of the first comic book issue. Each one of these is like 6-7 issues, because there's a total of 27 issues altogether. And issue trade paperback 3 here is issues 13 through 18, and a lot of origin stories are going to be expressed in here. And Planetary in general, you've got the whole 20th century, the 1900s, all the eras in each decade of like pop culture, of the zeitgeist being represented by these characters. So you actually have the main character who's running this crew that works for this global organization called Planetary. And Planetary kind of deals with all the secret stuff that is supposed to be kept secret. And Elijah Snow is this guy that creates a planetary guide. And each planetary guide kind of represents what was going on for that particular type of era that represents whatever genre was popular for us as readers in the 20th century. But they're actually, characters. So you've got, Elijah Snow meeting Sherlock Holmes. And since Elijah Snow is one of these century babies, he was born at like the first moment of the first day of the 20th century. So his powers happen to be able to freeze things, even if he isn't directly near them or touching them. And here he is meeting Sherlock Holmes. They're part of this organization that's trying to use all their ideas and technology and their powers to improve the world. But Sherlock Holmes is telling Elijah Snow how he had to make some like dark allegiances in order to maintain the organization's edge. Kind of regrets that. He takes on Elijah Snow and makes him his apprentice his remaining years of life. So you've got some real characters. Also, that was going on around the same time. You had Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen that were using fictional characters as part of the stories all meeting up. So he does mention, I think, Jules Verne as part of their group. But it's really cool. And then in this next issue, Thor's cane, right? So you have this other incarnation of Thor. They don't mention Thor, but they mention how the Four, now they represent like the Fantastic Four, that era, and they're like the bad guys in this story. And Planetary is this world organization that, for the Four, it's like a game for them, because Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four is like the smartest person on the planet. So for him, it's just like this world dominating game that he's playing with Planetary. Him and his like pseudo, this version of Fantastic Four. They're all evil. The Invisible Woman, she has technology that'll make her turn invisible. But get to that in a moment. This is the guy that represents the Reed Richards dude. I think he was called Dowling. Super evil. Here's his Invisible Woman bitch. And she's got her like suit here that turns her invisible. A lot of origin stories in this third trade paperback, because the Four catch Elijah Snow and they make him lose all of his memories. And so he has to give up who he is, and he tells his crew, the drummer and Jaquita, to just leave him, let him go. And I just have to read the last story, actually, the last issue in this one, and then I'll reread the final part. A lot of information, but point is that you've got all these like world organizations, kind of like with 100 Bullets at around the same time. This came out April, 1999 was the first issue. The last issue, 27, was in December 2009, and then the previous issue actually was like December 2006. So they came out like every 3 to 6 months, except for the last issue. But world organizations, people having their little secret societies, the 20th century and each decades, you have generations of people that are now dealing with their own concepts of legacy, but they have to compromise themselves, just like Elijah Snow had to compromise himself by losing his memory. Sherlock Holmes had to compromise himself by teaming up with Dracula, this vampire. You also have the Hark family that handled like the Planetary branch in Asia. And she used to team up with Dowling, the evil version of the Fantastic Four in this. But she finds out some information from Elijah Snow that allows her to actually give up that dark allegiance and team up with Elijah Snow. So, Doc Samson type knockoffs here. But it's really cool how they represent different ideas of the zeitgeist. And then this came out, on the turn of the century. So that whole concept of times changing and new forms of gods, new forms of people that represent time and taking over certain forms of consciousness. That isn't exactly the themes of this so much as it is like with Neil Gaiman's American Gods that also came out around the same time. And then too, just the whole concept of globalization was taking place. So, which brings me to my next series, Warren Ellis doing these like global themes with Planetary. He did it with, what else? The Authority, as well as with Global Frequency. And Global Frequency, real quick, it's a 12-issue series, got all 12 here. Finally found the second issue, really hard to find that. But Global Frequency, it's 12 issues, and each issue is a different artist. And it is this global spy organization. I don't know everything about this. I haven't read this yet. It took me forever to finally find a decent copy of issue 2. None of the comic shops that I visited in the Detroit area had the second trade paperback. I had one shop, Green Brain Comics, tell me, well, Warren Ellis was involved in some controversial things that offended some people, so he had to be canceled. And I'm like, oh my God, I was kind of getting that vibe from them there anyway. Too bad. But these comics I finally got online, and Global Frequency, basically what they're saying here is it doesn't matter who you are. If you're on the frequency, you are the best at what you do, and you're humanity's best and last chance for survival. I think they made some type of like TV pilot for this. I saw part of it on YouTube. Like one of the characters that stays the same in all these stories is the dispatcher, the person that's like in the operations center, this one girl. And then she's dispatching all these different types of people, different forms of talent that they have to recruit for these missions around the globe for this secret spy organization, I think. So I'm just psyched to check out the different artists that they use for each issue of this 12-issue series, Global Frequency. What year did this come out? 2005. Yeah, and speaking of global themes, you also had Grant Morrison. I don't know if you remember around the same time, early 2000s. He had the mutants open up these mutant embassies all over the world for a minute. So just wanted to mention that. Next up, just showing off the comics that I picked up while I was shopping in the Detroit area in reference to the video that I posted just recently. Showing me going out, hitting up Big Ben's Comics Oasis and Vault of Midnight. This is the Ultimates third volume, which was a total dud. It's pretty tragic, the writing in it. I don't know what was up, but Maduaria's artwork in this is so fucking sick. I already showed this off a little bit in that video, but there's another cover that, shows the superheroes facing the other direction. And then there's a second printing, and then there's the issue of this that has just like a white background with BP. And, man, who knows? How many more are there? I think there's like 2, 4, 6. There's at least 7 variants for Ultimates 3 issue 1 from February 2008, cover date. Just cracks me up. Love the artwork, especially this like artist edition, or what do you want? Not artist edition, but what do you want to call it? Like sketch edition. Yeah, one thing to remember when you're doing videos inside comic book shops, like the one that I just previously posted, keep that camera steady. Just hold it on something and then move a lot slower. I think mine was okay, but FYI, keep that camera steady. Move it a lot slower when you're in shops. This was just for fun, totally for fun. One thing though that I want to check out here with y'all is drop something on this. It's a slight like divot here on the plastic. So let's see. Did it damage the book? Did it damage the book? The glare is helping in that respect, not seeing much damage. Wow, smells like a new book too. Yes, it do. Yes, it does. All right, so that spine looks not too good. You can see, yeah. Oh yeah, and there too. I just saw this. This was like an impulsive buy. I was going out making the movie for fun, but yeah, I typically would not have bought this with the flaws, because modern books you just don't buy in general thinking you can break even, really even. But you know, if you wanna in the future trade it, you can't have flaws in my opinion, especially with a black cover, especially with those modern books. What you can do though, check this out. You can read it. Oh my God. Too bad it's from like former Marvel. I just like the concept of it. Shit. I'll read it, let y'all know what I thought of it next time I do a haul. This is the first fucking Marvel comic, like modern former Marvel comic that I will be reading in quite a while. I'll tell y'all what I think of it. I have low expectations. Fall to Midnight, right? That's where I got this from. And at Big Ben's Comics Oasis, I only got this. Big Ben's Comics Oasis is close to the airport, and that's where I got this, just this one issue. But then over at Fall to Midnight, both places had great back issue selections. Fall to Midnight for being a smaller type shop, smaller little boutique type place. They presented their merch really well and made it really tempting with the trade paperbacks, because that's more the mode that I'm in right now, although both places had great back issue selections. So I bought a couple trade paperbacks. You know, in a way you could say this is another world encompassing organization. The Boys also came out around the same time as those other books, around like what, 2005, 2006 with The Boys. As of issue 7, it went from Wildstorm, and then in issue 7 onwards to Dynamite Publishing. I think it was a total of 72 issues, but this is the first trade paperback, and I'm psyched to read this. I've only read the first 7 issues. So, encompassing this Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson joint, we have issues 1 through 14. And we've got here, 15th printing though, 2024. Here's issue 7. Issue 7 had this cover, and then there was a second cover that had, you know, a color and a black and white version. But this is when Dynamite took over because of the, what was it? Let's just say because of the gratuitous sex and violence. I think one of the scenes involved a gerbil. Yeah, so. And then the next issue after that, gerbil cover. Hey, the publisher's no longer with Wildstorm. Huh, imagine that. So yeah, this goes up to issue 14. Very psyched to read This, I'm going for the whole series now. I think it's all 72 issues. Paperback, issue 1. Next up, over at Vault at Midnight, I got my Megan Mogg in Amsterdam. I'm not sure which printing this is, but this reprints their first appearance, which was in a newspaper, medium type format. Simon Hanselman had the first appearance of Meg the Witch and her cat Mogg. They have this like love-hate affair going on, and their friend Owlie, he's kind of like a square. I've read Megahex and some online comic strips. But yeah, I dig Meg Mogg Owl and Werewolf Jones. Werewolf Jones, don't forget that. I think while they were in Amsterdam, they had Werewolf Jones take care of their place and turned it into a sex club, I think. So we're talking comics here about deviant lifestyles. You could say fringe culture, underground deviant lifestyles. I don't know. I think it's just people that aren't going to be working the 9 to 5 and just want to get loaded and have more fun than have a professional life and have a family. I think is more what this is about. So Simon Hanselman is from New Zealand and has been residing in the Northwest in Seattle area for a minute. Yeah, it's where Fantagraphics Publishing is based out of, by the way. Fantagraphics, independent publisher. I think they published that Red Room series. And Megamall in Amsterdam. This was $25. This brand new is $30, just so you know. And then finding these, I was pretty psyched. You know, I can't say I'm like a big Ghost in the Shell fan or much as far as manga, but it's like the character is definitely groundbreaking as far as entering the American market goes with Ghost in the Shell in the mid-90s. So by 2003, we got Ghost in the Shell 2 from Dark Horse Comics. It came out monthly. So what, February 2003, March 2003, April. Pretty cool covers, fucking dope artwork. Masamune Shiro. So this ran for 12 issues. Ghost in the Shell, man-machine interface. Just a random buy. Very niche. Shit like that is like really niche, cool. You could tell that artwork took some time, but it's got strong brand identity. Great reviews. Haven't read this story yet, but I like the first Ghost in the Shell, and just when I line up stuff like good history, good brand identity, cool artwork, looks like it was just, you know, more than just some of these indie comics where people do this like manga type style. You can tell it's like easy to do stuff quick, but then other details get glossed over. No background, not much detail in like what they wear, characterization, shit like that, and how they act. So seeing artwork like this, even on the covers alone, just like to get it. There's just some of the ideas that go through my head when I'm shopping. Yeah. Ghost in the Shell 2. Now, do I expect this to sell? I don't know. I haven't got into selling, you know. YouTube is for sellers. That's why I say if you're new to comics, collecting and reading aspect of comics, you know, get off YouTube. But I think we're all going to end up becoming sellers at one point. One way, shape, or another. Some people want to die with their comics, which is fine. Some people say that, you know, condescendingly. about people that hold on to their stuff or they don't want to sell for a certain price. More power to you. I love my comic book collections. Many aspects to collecting that I dig, and but I will become a seller one day. you know, those tables at like Knights of Columbus or some other place. Maybe I'll be renting one of those one day. So look at this cover. So yeah, it's 12 issues. Pretty cool looking work here. Once again, around that era, early 2000s. That was just before like when globalization had like totally taken hold of everything by like World Trade Organization in 1995, 96 was in full swing. And then you've got just a good 10 years after that when Disney started buying Marvel and eventually Time Warner. You got Discovery Time Warner, which hopefully will make some positive changes. The trailer for Superman is looking pretty sick. So what's next? What's next? Well, real quick before I get into what's next, I did grab a bunch of these. I put them on the back of all these other comics here. Oh yeah, I did also get they did have the one from the last. They're not doing the Halloween Comic Fest anymore. They've got these Trick or Read now comics. And, we have Free Comic Book Day in May, and then there's also another Free Comic Book Day around Halloween. It's not as popular, though, but yeah, Trick or Read now is the new thing. And this is from 2022, so I think this is the one from just this last year. Look at how the colors pop in this. Oh yeah, and the reason I grabbed a few copies is because, these are disposable. You got kids popping out the eyes here and putting in some string, making masks. The Ghost Spider, Miles, Spider-Man. What's great, too, is you have an intro. And then when, during that era, from 99, 2000 till around 2005, one of the things that helped bring me back to comics was how, like, Marvel would have an intro on their first page. I think that was one of the things Bill Jamas pushed. Whatever, but Casada was for it too, and they were running the ship at that time with Dan Buckley running the publishing, and they would have these faces of all the characters with their names and a quick synopsis of what was going on, who they are. I think that's a great way to use your intro page. Shit like this is awesome. The coloring in this, the colors pop. They should be handing out free stuff like this for kids at least every 6 months. I guess they are in a way, yeah, with the Halloween Comic Fest, and then they should be doing it every like 3 months, in some way, shape, or form, some type of promo. 4th of July, right? They should be a third now for 4th of July, in my opinion. But yeah, this is some good work on. I've heard people mention like strong brand identity with this. How their kids always love Spidey and his amazing friends. So grabbed a few copies of this. This is a giveaway. And the Ghost in the Shell were definitely some cool buys that I got over at Vault of Midnight. And then in the mail, thanks to this channel, this YouTube channel called Graphic Vandalism, all right, they did this very honorable, really cool tribute to Shlepzig. Rest in peace. This artist has recently passed away. I can't say any much about the guy, unfortunately. He apparently has been collaborating with the cartoonist Kayfabe crew, doing their like make a comic book in a day type of challenges. And this is his collection that he did during COVID, Shlepzig. May he rest in peace. So I decided, since they did such a cool tribute for this guy, and I really liked a lot of the stuff that they were showing off. So for $10, print on demand, here you go. This is more matted down, okay? This has a little bit of gloss to it, right? And some substance to the cover. Definitely, a little bit of kind of a newsprint, but not quite, type quality of the pages. Colors still look good. Just so you know, if you want to check out print on demand with Amazon, a lot of people are doing that, apparently. I know that Rick Veitch is doing print on demand for his new Max Immortal series. Definitely recommend grabbing a copy of that. Hell, I think I'll do that. In my next haul, I should go order the latest Max Immortal series. from Mr. Rick Veitch and review my Helverine Rider Fry comic. This Shlepzig collection number 1, 2021 to 2020 to 2021, the COVID era. And this is just a bunch of shit that he put together. I like it. I love the anatomy of these ladies that he's drawing. Reminds me of a lot of other artist styles, gotta say. And he does have these like moments in each panel that are his own for sure. Shadow Ice Strike. Look at that. Skip ahead a few pages. Weapon, eh. Yeah, I'm psyched for this. I'm loving what I've already found inside this little book here. So I'm skipping way ahead. Let me know what you think of Shlepzig. Please check out Graphic Vandalism. I've mentioned them before. You know, they're doing reviews of albums mixed in with their comic book reviews, as well as with movies, but they've got some killer artist creator interviews that, you know, I think I heard Brian over at Beyond Wednesdays just recently saying how he's collecting less of your mass-produced books, and one of the directions he's going towards are these Kickstarter campaigns, these indie campaigns, lower print runs, those exclusive offers and so forth. So here we have independent creator, help out the fam here, honor of this indie artist Shlepzig. So yeah, I'm getting a little hypnotized here by the work. I'm enjoying it, and I hope you did too. So check that out, print on demand, Shlepzig collection number 1. Please check out Graphic Vandalism. And to wrap up the haul with my box of comics, haul, Annihilation Conquest. Just because it looks cool. Some freaky coolness to it. Some of that bizarreness, uniqueness with that weapon. First appearance, Wraith. Clint Langley cover. Yeah, it's a 4-issue limited series. I got this for $69. That's my haul, y'all. Thanks a lot for visiting. I hope you let me know what you think. If you like my comics, everything here looks all right. Let me know. Anything in here that you don't like, let me know. Right? Wait, what's that? What happened to the pint glass that I bought? You want to see the pint glass? I'll show you the pint glass. No problem. Show you that pint glass. But first, you know, I couldn't resist. I'm not a voter. I don't really get much into voting, but I definitely did this last election, and in response to, God, what, the past 10, 15 years, 10 years of this bullshit that's been going on in entertainment. Couldn't help but to get this from the Mark Dice channel on YouTube because fuck the past 4 or 5 years. Fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy. I got this out of spite and just a little like act of celebration for how the election turned out. And I don't care if I'm going to have people unsub me. I don't normally talk about politics, but I'm so glad Justin Trudeau is resigning today, by the way, this Monday. Holy fucking shit. January 6th, Monday. Later, Trudeau. Liberal tears mug. Wow. I mean, for people that run entertainment industries to show off having a mug that says any type of like joke against a fan, nobody uses the term fanboy, by the way. Fanboy? Nobody fucking says that. Nobody has ever said, yeah, I'm a fanboy for the X-Men. Yeah, fuck yeah, that dude, you should be a fanboy, man. You should get into comics and be a fanboy. Nobody fucking says fanboy. It's sort of like the term grunge. I mean, now it's okay to use it, I guess, after a while, but not really so much even. It's kind of cringe to hear that. It's a marketing term. It's not the end of the world, but it's cheese. So yeah, I felt just for fun and just a little jab, and I just love the irony of, seeing shit going from fanboy tears based off of that neo-liberal bullshit. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. I'm sorry for even trying to name it. But had to get this. And beyond the liberal tears mug point, to get back to what y'all were asking me for just now, right? Because you were. But dun, 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 dun. We got a price tag here. We got $12, 12 bucks. $12 for the Toon tumblers. I've got a collection of Toon tumblers, Marvel superheroes that they made. I don't think they got a license with Marvel anymore. So I know around like 2015, 2018, 2019 they did, but I don't think they do anymore. So but I couldn't resist getting this. So check out my previous vid where I am just doing a little Happy New Year vid, going to Big Ben's Comics Oasis in Vault of Midnight. That's where I got this mug at. Pretty fucking dope. Psyched for it. Thanks a lot for visiting. Thanks a lot for checking out my channel. Much love. Keep on reading comics. Keep on collecting. Peace.